Here we go. I am so excited to kick off the Incubator bonus series here on That Entrepreneur Show. If you've been following me on social media, my website, you've seen me here at the Lowth Center grinding with other startup companies to turn our dreams into reality. I have the honor of interviewing Dr. White, who really kicked off this program. So Dr. White, thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, it's great to be here, Vincent. I'm so glad to join you today.
Oh, I'm very excited as well. She has put together an incredible, I would call it second home here for us entrepreneurs who spend so much time here, and she's so accomplished in her career. She'll be talking about all of that. She has an awesome podcast to add to your queue as well. But I want to start off because we are doing this Incubator bonus series.
Sure.
Talk about how the Lowth Center came about.
Oh, that's a great question, and thank you again for asking that and for having me today, Vincent. So the Lowth Entrepreneurship Center, we opened in 2015, and it really it's always been a dream of mine to create something like this. This is a 26,000 square foot facility that allows us to bring together people from all walks of life, really, and every stage of entrepreneurship, from learners who are here on our campus in the undergraduate program, to people from the community that are running businesses, a few like you that are coming back as alumni who are now graduates and running companies. So it's a place where we can all come together and support and help each other. It's also designed specifically to provide an opportunity for what we call the 5 different types of learning and building companies. And that includes collaboration, coaching and mentoring, reflection, apprenticeship, and multiple practice. So, we really try to live entrepreneurship up here. And your question, how did this all come about? I have to say that it was, like I said, it was a dream of mine. I've been in entrepreneurship education for many years, came to the University of Tampa, but what really made it possible was having the university leadership here willing to support it. So President Vaughn, who's been here at this university almost 30 years, is very entrepreneurial. And the really cool thing was when we first started talking, he gave me a chance to kind of talk about my vision. And so this space grew from like a couple of offices and, a little workspace to what we now have. So it was a true collaboration of many, many people, and I was blessed to be a part of it.
And I feel very fortunate and blessed to even be in this program. We have access to mentors and coaches and trainings and the office space that helps us put all of our thoughts together. I do want to shift over to you now. You mentioned you've been in entrepreneurship for a while. I know your story because I've had the opportunity to learn it. Everyone that doesn't have that story in their mind yet, what led you to this entrepreneurial journey that we've got to connect now?
Well, I get, the starting point really, and I don't know if you and I have even talked about this, but it really goes back probably to my childhood, because my mom, who's no longer with me, but who had an amazing name, Betty White. Okay. So my mom was Betty White. Maybe not the Betty White you're thinking about, but equally cool.
Yeah.
She was an entrepreneur. So I really learned an entrepreneurial mindset from childhood. But my parents really valued education, and I did too. And so I was really fortunate to have the opportunity to get 2 advanced degrees. I worked along the way before I graduated with my doctorate. But when I received my doctorate, I started teaching. And my PhD is in strategy and marketing. So I started teaching at Northern Kentucky University, which is in the greater Cincinnati area. And they hired me to teach entrepreneurship to teach strategy. But, oh, by the way, we'll give you a chance if you want to, because they knew I was really interested in it, to start a class in what we called then small business management. So I taught a small business management course, and we started out and had a pretty decent number of students take it as an elective. It became very popular. And so I was fortunate. I got to write a grant. We were fortunate to get that grant from the Coleman Foundation out of Chicago. Yeah, and they helped us launch the program, and then we later raised money for the program. And so that's how I got started in it, and that was the beginning point.
You've always had the big vision. It seems like you've had this big vision, and now a little further south, you've got to do that here in Tampa.
Yes, that's right. That's
Everyone
right.
out there, don't limit yourself in what you offer as an entrepreneur. As I started out, she has an awesome podcast. If you're listening to this show or watching this show, this is also a podcast you're going to want to subscribe to. Let's talk more about your show.
Okay, well, the show is called The N Factor, and that's EN Factor. So like the X Factor, only looking for what it is that differentiates and separates an entrepreneurial mindset. And, it really is all about the way that you look at the world. I mean, it's like you put on when you look at the world from an entrepreneurial mindset, you literally have a different lens. And it's an opportunity lens because you're always looking for opportunities. You're willing to step out and take action, and you are also willing to push through all the failures that you have. And I know resilience is a big part of your message.
Yeah.
But resilience is one of those 3 competencies that I found in years of study that separates people that have an entrepreneurial mindset. So my podcast really, I interview entrepreneurs from all walks of life in every type of work, and because we do find entrepreneurs in organizations as well as
Absolutely.
starting their own companies, so I interview them, and we dive into their stories. And I'm also in 2024, just a little teaser.
All right.
I'm going to start doing more solo episodes and also bringing in some more unique aspects of what I do, and that specifically is going to include translating some of the academic research in entrepreneurship into practical tips that are going to be useful for entrepreneurs. So
I think that's incredible because as the world's obviously changing, podcasting is becoming more and more popular in a medium that people prefer. So I think the service you'll be providing there is great. As a podcaster, I got to dig a little deeper. What is your favorite part of hosting your podcast?
Oh, wow. You know what? It's getting to meet people and talk to them. And I don't know, maybe I'm just a little nosy, but I love being the one asking questions. I don't know how you feel about it, but it is so much fun to me to be able to ask those questions.
You're leading a conversation, but I have a host with me hosting this, so it's kind of like a cool co-hosting opportunity.
Yeah.
It would be remiss for me if I didn't stop because of your expertise in entrepreneurship. For all these entrepreneurs out here who may be tuning in today, but are not quite at the point of joining a program or getting in funding or excelling, scaling all these things, just getting started. What can you offer people through all of your expertise here just to not waste time? Something many of us do. We don't have a plan. We're wasting time. How can you help them?
Oh, that's a really good point. First of all, you know what I would say, Vincent, is that if you really step back and look at it, none of it's a waste of time because you're going to learn something. So, entrepreneurship is about learning. And as you know, I've been an educator, but I also have had my own businesses.
Yes.
And some of the most important things I learned from going out, trying, and failing. And, I've shared with, some of the companies, one in particular, my technology company, RiskAware.
Yes, love that
I shared that story with you. And there were so many mistakes that we made along the way and so many things that I look back now that I know we could have done differently and better. But the reality is it's all about learning. And so mistakes I made there and times when I was treading water, that was all something that I could use later. So I think for anybody that's starting out, first of all, you don't have to know it all, right? I know you may be sitting there thinking, well, yeah, it's easy for you to say you've got a PhD. Well, the reality is there's still so much that you don't learn in school, no matter what. There's a lot you can learn from school, but there's so much you don't know. So every entrepreneur is going to be learning along the way. And you should not wait until you think you know how to do it. It's all about getting out there and diving in. And I guess the second thing, because I talked about it today in my class, is, always go back and focus on the problem you're trying to solve. Anytime you don't know what to do, anytime you're confused about your next step, it's great to have a plan, but a plan is more so for you and maybe communicating to other people what's in your head. because the reality is it's not going to look that way when it happens. And
That's
that's
the truth.
okay. And you'll know the right thing to do if you always go back to the problem you're trying to solve. And how do you go back to that? You constantly talk to your customers. You got to have a conversation with your customers. And if you're not yet at a point of even knowing who those people are, start talking to people that are potential customers and figure out who that customer might be. And then find out what their problem is. And that will embedded in that problem will be the solution. That's the goal.
I love that answer because it also involves a little reflecting and taking the time to re-speak to your customers, not just go, go, go. And do you ever find this on your students or mentees where once I stopped looking at the mistakes as failures and as learning lessons, my whole mind just started growing and I would just not just dwelling on it, sulking. Oh no, I fix it up a little bit and try it again.
Yes, absolutely. One of the most dangerous things that we do is we ruminate. We go back and we're like, oh, I can't believe I did that. It was so stupid. I lost so much here. I have lost a lot of money along the way on various things that I've tried to do that didn't work out. And I've wasted a lot of time. Not wasted a lot of time, invested a lot of time. But it's all an investment, right? And, time and money. In fact, a lot of times, Vincent, I'd rather somebody steal my money than take my time, because I can make more money, but I can't get that time back. So, you're learning along the way, no matter what you're doing, even with people in your life that might feel like they're wasting your time. There's probably things that you can learn from that relationship and that experience.
Absolutely. Every conversation, every podcast episode I have the fortune of hosting, I learn something from everyone. It's been such a great...
So do I. I mean, even though I've been doing this a long time and I'm like 3 times your age or whatever, it's maybe not 3 times your age, but I'm a lot older. I'm a lot older.
You've certainly impressed me in the show. You've taught me so much. Again, every conversation, everyone out there, I'm now going to ask her to share how we can find you online, and of course more on that podcast where they can find that, and then we'll wrap it up where if anybody out here might be a good fit to apply for the Lowth Center for next year, how can they go about doing that?
Absolutely. So first of all, the best way to find out about me is my personal website, and that's drRebeccaWhite.com, drRebeccaWhite.com. And you can find my podcast there, or you can find it on Apple, Spotify, all the platforms. It's In Factor. We have about 130 episodes now, and some of the oldest ones are great too. So I'd love to have you catch those. On my podcast, on my website, I also have my books about entrepreneurial mindset, and I also have some other free resources. So please check that out, and that's drRebeccaWhite.com. And love for you to listen to my podcast. If you are interested in an education in entrepreneurship, graduate or undergraduate, or in participating in any of our programs, you can go to the University of Tampa website, that's ut.edu, and search for the Lowth Entrepreneurship Center, and that's LOWTH, Lowth Entrepreneurship Center. And our programs, if you apply for our programs, we take a cohort of business, alumni and community members each fall. But we do occasionally bring in some people in January, for the start of that semester. And if you're in that program, like Vincent, we provide access to mentors, coaches, to other learning opportunities that can help you really grow your business. If you're interested in our academic programs, feel free to reach out to me or our admissions office, and love to have more people learn more about what we do up here. And we've got amazing students and amazing alumni, and I'm proud of Vincent and all of our team here. So
yeah, well, thank you so much for offering all that information, for an amazing episode. And if you're like me out there, you were lost in the entrepreneurial whirlwind, doing all the day-to-day, not out seeming kind of lost, even though you have the education and all these things, these type of programs have not only turned around my whole journey, but many others. So I strongly urge yourself to challenge yourself, and get out there and hit that apply button if it makes sense for you. Because for me, I mean, now everything is so much more clear. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity and for you kicking off this special bonus series full of all of the incubator participants and some other great entrepreneurs inside this building. Thank you so much, Dr. White.
It's been my pleasure, and congratulations to you, Vincent. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.